make progress. We set up a climate.
You might need
corps
another booster
where
shot.
Thousands of young people will learn how to.
They did this on purpose.
Peace Corps.
They're going to murder him
We're
on the
moving in
commentary in the
directions that are
mainstream
gonna
media,
significantly change the elements
or
of
they're just
cause.
going to not replay this and they're going to copyright everybody.
Oh, they're going to
claims that he
delete
is the
it.
biggest heart up here, and he's really
It's going to be
concerned
memory hold.
about pollution and about climate.
Old
I've
Kamala's
seen any
trying to
discussion
defend
about it.
Biden on
And
X
by the
right
way,
now.
with regard to
well,
prescription drugs, one company.
she ain't but a blink of the eye away from being the president of the United States. Of course she is.
One voluntarily. I made sure every company in the world, every pharmaceutical company, cannot have to pay.
Thank you.
And by the way,
Your
So
mic's been
every
cut
day,
off.
millions of Americans struggle
Did
just
they
to
actually
make
cut his
ends
mic?
meet. For many
Yeah.
older Americans, Social Security
I'm telling you,
provides a critical
CNN
lifeline.
surprising me on
President
this.
Biden, if nothing
Weren't we
is
supposed
done
to drink
Social
every
Security,
time he
seniors
talked
will
into
see
him?
their benefits
I
cut
mean, he got
in just over 10 years.
Closing argument.
Will you name tonight
I mean,
one
I'm already 5
specific
into it, so
step
I don't know
you're
what you
willing
want me to
take
do.
to keep Social Security solvent?
I just keep
yes,
drinking
make
solid while
begin to
Biden's
pay their
talking.
fair share.
Figure I'm hitting them.
Right now, everybody
I
making
completely took a break from my OSHA training for this.
6% of their income. Of their
Well,
paycheck
thanks
every
for making that
single time.
sacrifice for us, Ron.
I'm the first one
You
to
have
get
no idea how
an
sick I
18
am of
years
that.
old. The
I'm
idea
literally
that
cleaning my firearms.
I'm proposing that everybody, they pay, the millionaires pay 1%. So no one after
The top
not
1%
raise
pay
the cost of
50%
Social
of all
Security for
taxes.
anybody under $400,000. After
All right,
that, it began
2,000
to make
people.
the
Let's
wealthy
go.
began to pay their fair share by increasing from 1% beyond to be able to guarantee the program for
Yeah,
life.
let's talk about the almost
So you still
30%
have
I've got to
2
pay.
seconds left. Are there any other measures that you think that would be able to help keep Social Security solvent, or is that one enough?
Well, no, that one enough will keep it solvent, but
No.
the biggest thing will be
There's nothing that
Such an idiot.
because he wants to get rid of Social Security. He thinks there's
They know
plenty
it's
to cut
over.
Social Security.
I think I can.
He's going to cut Social Security.
Yeah,
and
Robert
Medicare
F. Kennedy.
times.
You might be able to
And
jump
that's-
up there.
and
I
if
don't
you look
know.
at the program put
But they're going to try to
forward
put Gavin
by the
Newsom
House
in there.
Republican caucus that he, I believe, supports is in fact want to cut it as well. The idea that we don't need to protect our seniors is ridiculous. And by the
Nancy's
way,
secret bit.
American public has greater health care coverage today than ever before.
You tell him, Roger.
And on the
What
ACA,
the-
as I said, you're in a circumstance where 400,000 people,
We hit 2K yet, Kingdom?
40 million people would not have
We're 10
insurance
away.
because they have a pre-existing condition. Only thing that allows them to have that insurance is the fact that they, in fact, are part of the ACA.
I'm trying to
And by
mimic
the
his
way, the
face.
other thing is we're in a situation where I talk about education for Black communities. I've raised the amount of money for Pell Grants by another $8,000. So anybody making under $70,000 a year is going to be able to get $15,000 toward their tuition. He just doesn't know what he's talking about.
Thank you, President Biden.
Yeah,
President
he
Trump.
don't know what he's talking
So
about.
I've
Good
dealt with
point.
politicians all my life. I've been on this side of the equation for the last 8 years. I've never seen anybody lie like this guy. He lies. I've never seen it. He could look you in the
Grandpa
face.
Joe.
About so many other things too. And we mentioned the laptop.
He
We
just
mentioned
pooped.
Russia, Ukraine. Everything he does is a lie. It's misinformation and disinformation. The losers and suckers story that he made up is a total lie on the military. It's a disgrace. But Social Security, he's destroying it because millions of people are pouring into our country. And they're putting them
Immigrants.
onto Social Security. They're putting them onto Medicare, Medicaid. They're putting them in our hospitals. They're taking the place of our citizens. What they're doing to the VA, to
Gonna
our
be Mike's.
veterans is
Big Mike's
unbelievable.
gonna
Our veterans are living in the
take the
Big
street.
Mike, yeah.
And these
Everybody
people
likes
are
Mike.
living in luxury hotels. He doesn't know what he's
Mike with
doing. And
the
Big
it's
Mike,
really coming
Moose
back.
Knuckle.
I've never seen such anger in our country before.
The only one that can
Biden.
change a tire.
The
in the White
idea
House.
that veterans were not being taken care of, I told you before. And by the way, when I said suckers and losers, he acknowledged after that he fired that general. That general
He
got
was a piece
fired
of shit, probably.
because he's the one that acknowledged that that's what he said. He was the one standing with Trump when he said it. Number one. Number two, the idea that we're going to be in a situation where
He already number two.
all these millions.
Hang on to your
millions of
pronouns. Here we go.
illegal aliens are coming into the country and taking away our jobs. There's a reason why we
Biden's
have
going to close the
fastest
border
growing
tomorrow.
economy in the world. The reason why we have the most successful economy in the world.
You gotta lock it
We're
down.
doing better than any other nation in the world. And by the way, those 15 Nobel laureates he talked about being phony, those 15 Nobel laureates, economists, they all said that if Trump is reelected, we're likely to have a
Hey,
recession.
anybody can say
and-
anything
and
if you pay him well
inflation's going
enough.
to increasingly go up. And by the way, worst
You got a
president in
point there,
history,
Joe. You got
159
100% big point there.
Yeah.
presidential voted.
True
Joe
that.
Him, the
Linden,
worst
Joe
president
Linden
in the history
and
of the United
Biden
States.
sons were dead.
President Biden, thank you so much. Let's turn to the cost of
Trump
child
was the
care.
worst.
Many American families struggle to
Oh, you
afford.
were? No,
President
you
Trump,
were.
Both you and President Biden have tried to address this issue, but the
It's like the
average
two
cost of
Muppets
child care
from
in
the
this
Muppet
country
Show
has
that
risen
stand
to
up
more
there
than
in the
$11,000 a year per
the
I'll
child
tell you
for
what's
many
crazy is his
families.
account,
The
Biden's
cost of
account's
child
getting
care
tore
for
up right
2
now on X
children
because
is
somebody's
more than
continuously
their
tweeting
rent.
on it.
In
And
your
everybody's like,
second term,
if you're
what
on
would
stage,
you
who's
do to
tweeting?
make child care more affordable?
Just to go back, the general got fired because he was no good. And if he said that, that's why he made it up. But we have 19 people that said I didn't say it, and they're very highly respected, much more so than him. The other
Look at
thing
the
is,
blank stare.
he doesn't fire people. He never fired
I can't
people.
believe
He's
he's
like,
Never
oh
said he fired
shit.
anybody. I did fire a lot. I fired Comey because he was no good. I fired a lot
gotta
of the
fix
top
my
people
earpiece.
at the FBI, drained the swamp. They were no good. Not
What do
easy to
you-
fire people. You'd pay a
Where's my
price for it,
pudding?
but they were no good. I inherited these people. I didn't put them there. I didn't put Comey there. He was no good. I fired him. This guy hasn't fired anybody. He never fires. He should have fired every military man that was involved with that
Hell yeah.
Afghanistan
Hell yeah.
horror show, the most embarrassing
Yeah, I
moment in the
100%
history of
agree
our
with
country.
that.
He didn't fire. Did you fire anybody? Did you fire anybody that's on the border that's allowed us to have the worst border in the history of the world? Did anybody get fired for allowing?
Who's gonna do? Who's gonna?
He going to jail
many
like a
from
mother.
prisons,
Who's
many
gonna
from
clean the toilets and mow the lawn?
mental institutions?
Close the
Did you
border.
fire anybody?
He
that
looks like a
allowed our
scolded
country to
boy
be
right now.
destroyed?
Yeah.
Joe, our country is being destroyed as you and I sit up here and waste a lot of time on this debate. This shouldn't be a debate.
Yeah.
He's the worst president. He just said about me because I said it. But look, he's the worst president in the history of our country. He's destroyed our country. Now all of a sudden he's trying
Joe
to get
is
rid of the
cooked.
border. He came out with a nothing deal, and it reduced it a little bit.
Isn't Trump older than
It's not-
Biden too?
No.
Insignificant. He wants
He's like
open
a year
borders.
younger.
He wants our country
He's
to
like 2
either be
years younger, I
destroyed,
think,
or he
but
wants to pick
very
up
close.
those people as
But
voters.
you can't tell by looking at him.
But he's
I don't think
sentient.
we
So
just
I mean,
can't let it happen.
No, Trump
If
looks like he's
he
50
wins
compared
this
to Biden.
election,
Oh, yeah.
our country doesn't have a chance, not even a chance, of coming out of this
I think
rut.
Biden is
He doesn't
88.
billion
We
dollar
won't have a
doctors.
country left anymore.
Yeah,
That's how
Uncle
bad
Buck,
it
there
is.
won't be
He's
another
the
debate,
worst
dude.
in
I guarantee
history by
that.
far.
Well, he's listening to
Thank you,
his
President
earpiece
Trump.
getting
President
ready for
Biden?
the next
We're the most
discussion.
admired country in the world.
Um,
We're the United States of America.
Oh
There's
my.
nothing beyond our
Everyone's
capacity.
welcome.
We're
Come
the
on
finest
across.
military in the history of the world. The finest in the history of the world. No one.
That's why we
thinks
gave
we're
all of
good.
our stuff away
No
because we're
one
the
wants to
best.
screw around.
Yeah,
with us.
exactly.
Nobody. Number one.
Yeah, can I get my
Number
tax money
two,
back
the
for all that
idea
shit?
that we're
I just want
talking
my
about worst
Apache. That's all I
presidents.
want.
I wasn't joking.
I'll
Look it
take
up.
one of
Go
those.
online. 159 or 58, don't hold me the exact number, presidential historians. They've had meetings and they voted who's the worst.
You know, Uncle Buck, there's
president in
been some
American
stuff
history.
posted on
One
X
for
that they're
better or
letting
worse.
this happen
They said he was
purposely
the worst in
to
all
give them a
of
reason to put
American
somebody
history.
else in
That's a
place of
fact.
Biden.
That's
To do
not-
the
that's not
25th Amendment
conjecture.
on old Biden.
He can argue they're wrong, but that's what they
Oh,
voted.
there's
The
some
idea
stuff
that
on
he
X.
is
Just an
knowing,
understatement.
doing anything to deal with child
Look, I was
care.
trying to be nice.
He
If there's a
already
plethora,
enough people
Yeah.
child care.
do you
He
know what a
should
plethora
significantly
is?
increase the child care
It's
tax
a
credit.
sweater.
We should significantly increase the availability of women and men or single parents to be able to go
Just
back to
remember,
work.
188
We
years
should
ago,
encourage
3 men
businesses to
saved
hold-
Acapulco
to
from
Thank
El
you, President
Guapo.
Biden. President Trump, the question was about what would you do to make child care more affordable?
Those
You want to-
daring 3 men.
Just so you understand, we have polling.
El
We have
Guapo.
other things
It's one of my
that
favorite
they rate
movies.
him the worst because what he's done is so bad.
Yeah, right
And
now
they
Joe
rate
wishes
me-
he was
I'll
the
show you.
invisible
I will show you.
swordsman.
And they rate me one of the best. Okay. And if I'm given another 4 years, I will be the best. I think I'll be the best. Nobody's ever created an economy like us. Nobody ever cut taxes like us. He's the only one I know. He wants to raise your taxes by 4 times. He wants to raise everybody's taxes by 4 times. He wants the Trump tax cuts to expire. So everybody, including the 2 of you, are going to pay 4 to 5 times. Nobody ever heard of this before. All my life, I'd grow up and I'd see politicians talking about cutting taxes. When we cut taxes, as I said, we did more business. Apple and all these companies, they were
Trump's
bringing
hair's looking a little
money
flat
back
tonight.
into our country. The worst president in history by far, and everybody knows it.
President Biden?
Look, fact of the matter is that he's dead wrong about. He's increased the tariff. He will increase the taxes on middle class people. I said I'd never raise the
Which
taxes
one
on
was it?
anybody
He
who makes
will,
more
he
than
would, he
$25,000
did, he will,
I
might
didn't.
want to one
His
day.
tariff is 10% tariffs. Everything coming in the country. You know what the economists say?
Pick and
That's
choose your
gonna
own
cost the
adventure.
average American
Yeah.
$2,500 a year more because they're going to have to pay the difference in food and all the things that are important. Number two, he's in a situation where he talks about how he is
Somebody made a
not
comment
raised.
that they're
he's-
impressed with the
he's
moderators
somehow
not
helped
not
middle
interrupting
class.
too much. And
Middle
Carrie
class has been
Salone
devastated by it.
made a
Now you
comment that
want
they're
a
giving
new
hand
tax cut
signals
of
to
$5
Biden. They're
trillion
not cutting
over
his
the
mic.
next 10 years, which
What
is
do you
going
guys
to
think?
fundamentally bankrupt the country.
I
We
haven't
have the
really heard
largest
him over
deficit of
speak
any
though.
president in American
Yeah,
history.
this
Number
extra
one. Number
advantage when
two,
he said
you
his
have
perfect
not,
case
in
scenario
fact,
is like this,
made any
he's still getting his
progress,
ass whipped when he made up all the rules.
progress with China.
Yeah, and he was
We
in
had the
Camp
lowest
David for
trade
10
deficit with
days.
China since
Trump
2010.
just
Thank you,
murdered him.
President Biden.
You lost
Thank you, President
$165.
Biden. Let's discuss an
Hey,
epidemic
Kingdom Radio,
impacting millions
check
of
your DMs real
Americans that
quick,
both of
please.
you have made a top priority in your first term, the opioid crisis. And for both of you, the number of overdose deaths in this country has gone up.
Purdue
Under
Farmer
your
just
term,
got
it
found
went up.
guilty and they
Under
got to
your
pay like
term, it has
$70
gone up.
billion.
Former President Trump, despite the efforts that both of you have made, more than 100,000 Americans are dying from overdoses every year, primarily from fentanyl and other opioids. What will you do to help Americans right
Make
now in
cocaine
the
safe
throes of
again.
addiction who are struggling to get the treatment they need?
To finish up, we now have the largest deficit in the history of our country under this guy. We have the largest deficit with China.
Look at his face.
Ah,
Because
he's
they don't
punishing
have a
them.
Manchurian candidate. He gets money.
John
from
Rich
China.
from Big and
We have- I
Rich,
think he's afraid
country
to deal
western
with them,
singer,
something.
says they're going to
But you
replace
notice he
Joe
never
at the
took out my
DNC.
tariffs
This is
because we
beyond
bring in so
pathetic.
much money with the tariffs that I imposed on
Yeah, he
China.
got ate
He
up.
never took them away. He can't because it's too
Nobody's
much
going to
money.
vote for him.
It's tremendous. And we saved our
His
steel
facial
industry.
expressions,
But he hasn't done
his
that.
lies.
He hasn't cut the tariffs because he can't, because it's too much money. But he's got the largest deficit in the history of our country, and he's got the
Uncle
worst.
Buck, I'm not sure who they're going to
the
run.
worst
There's been talks
situation
with Gavin
with China.
Newsom. They
China's
might
gonna
pull
own us if you
old
keep allowing
Buttigieg out.
them
You never know,
to
but
do what they're doing to
I
us
think
as a
they're gonna
country.
have to
They
put
are
somebody in his
killing
place.
us as a country, Joe.
Got to be
and you
Kamala.
can't
She's
let that
vice
happen.
president,
You're
right?
destroying our country.
It'll be
President
Big
Trump,
Mike or Newsom.
7
I don't
seconds
think it'll
left.
be
The
anybody
question
else.
was, what are you going to do to help Americans in the
I don't.
throes of addiction
might
right
don't
now
actually
who are
agree with the
struggling
Big
to
Mike
get the
comment.
treatment they need?
You don't think
They
so?
might
I
have
think
a
we're
better
doing
chance
very
with
well
Howard
at
Stern.
addiction until
No,
the
I said I
COVID
think
came
I agree
along.
with that.
We had the
Oh, they
2.5,
say you don't.
almost 3
Although
years
they
like
pushed
nobody's
Hillary
ever
the
had
other day.
before,
Did you
any
notice that?
country in every way. And then we had to get
Did you
tough.
hear
No, I
And
missed
it was-
that.
The drugs pouring across the border were it started to increase. We got great equipment. We bought the certain dog that's the most incredible thing that you've ever seen, the way they can spot it. We did a lot, and we were getting very low numbers, very, very low numbers. Then he came along. The numbers,
It's
have
not like
you
what
seen the
Dr.
numbers
Fauci
now?
did with the
It's not
beagle.
only the 18 million people that I believe is even low because
That
the
makes me
gotaways, they
so
don't even
angry
talk
to this
about
day.
gotaways. But the numbers of the amount of drugs and human trafficking in women coming across our border, the worst thing I've ever seen, at numbers that nobody's ever seen under him because the border's so bad. But the number
Just
of
waiting for Trump to
drugs
turn
coming
over and look at
across
him and
our
go, you
border
know, I'm
now
going to beat
Trump
your
is
ass.
the
hammering the
largest we've
border
ever
and
had by
illegal
far.
immigration.
President
That's
Trump,
what
thank you.
everybody
President
wants
Biden?
to hear.
Fentanyl
And all
and
that
the
news went
byproducts
away.
of fentanyl went down for a while. And I wanted to make sure
Fentanyl,
we
Black
use
Lives
the
Matter.
machines
Listen
that
up,
can
everybody.
detect
He
fentanyl.
said for a
These big
while.
machines that roll over everything that comes across the border. And it costs a lot of money. That was part of this deal we put together, this bipartisan deal. More fentanyl machines, more
More
be able to
fentanyl
detect
machines.
drugs, more
That's a new
numbers
one.
of
Is
agents.
that a
more
vending
numbers
machine
of
now?
all the people.
I'd like to get
serving.
7
When
grams,
we had
please.
the deal done, he called his.
Oh, you want to kill all of South Africa?
It's gonna hurt
That's
me.
A3 is lethal
No,
dose.
he never argued it's not a good bill. It's a really good bill. We need those machines. We need those machines. And we're coming down very hard in every country in Asia in terms of precursors for fentanyl. And Mexico is working with us to make sure they don't have
Asia.
the
He didn't say
technology before we
China.
put it
It's
together.
interesting.
That's what we have to do. We need those machines.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump, and again, the question is about Americans in the throes of addiction right now, struggling to get the treatment they need.
Well, this does pertain to it. He ended Remain in Mexico. He ended catch and release. I made it catch and release in Mexico, not catch and release here. We had so many things that we had done, hard negotiations
Hammering the
with
border.
Mexico, and I got it all for nothing. It's just like when you have a hostage, we always pay $6 billion
Buy that
for
coffee.
every
Joe
time we say a
Lanu.
hostage. Now we have a hostage, a Wall Street Journal reporter. I think a good guy, and he's over there because Putin is laughing at this guy, probably asking for billions of dollars for the reporter. I will have him out very quickly as soon as I take office. Before I
Oh, there
take
you go.
office, I said by literally as soon as I win the election, I will have that reporter out. He should have had him out a long time ago. But Putin's probably asking for billions and billions of dollars because this guy pays it every time. We had 2 cases where he paid $6 billion for 5 people. I got 58 people out, and I paid essentially nothing.
Thank you, President Trump.
Hell
Dana.
yeah.
Let's turn to concerns that
The news
voters
is like,
have about
what?
each of you. President Biden, you would be 86 at the end of your second term. How do you address
Why is
concerns
this a question?
about your
Wow.
capability to
setup.
handle the toughest job in the world well into your 80s?
Well, first of all, I spent half my career being criticized being the youngest person in politics. I was the second youngest person ever elected to the United States
Well
Senate,
rehearsed.
and now I'm the oldest. This guy's
That
3
means
years
he's been a
younger.
career
Let's
politician. Boot his
I think
ass.
just look at the record. Look
Yeah.
what I've done. Look how I've
In
turned
50
around
years,
the
what have you
horrible
done, bro?
Situation he left me. As I said, 15
Dropped the
million new
N-word a lot
jobs,
back in the day.
800,000 manufacturing
That's true.
jobs,
He
more
did that.
investment in America, over billions of dollars.
What were
of
his
private
words? I don't want our
investment
schools to be a
in,
racial jungle.
in enterprises. We are growing. By the way, we brought off a lot of people.
But he was raised
Well,
in a black church,
the
right?
whole idea.
Yeah. If
Computer
you, ain't,
chips. We used to have 30%.
if you don't vote for
more.
him, you ain't black.
We
Dude.
invented those chips.
That's true.
And we
He was
lost
at
it
Thelma.
because he was sending people to
Walking
find
with
the
Martin
cheapest
Luther
jobs
King.
overseas.
Yeah.
But I will say, if
And
you're
no problem.
enjoying this,
So I
everybody,
went to
Joe
South Korea.
Lanu puts a lot of
convinced
work
Samsung
in
to
there,
invest
and
billions of dollars here in
we
the
all
United
been trying to
States.
do what we can
And
for
then,
Joe
guess
Lanu.
what?
Just had a major
Those fabs,
surgery,
they call
so
it,
you know,
that
buy him a cup of coffee. You know, if you're in a Starbucks or something like
fabs
that,
pay
come at a cup of coffee.
$100,000.
Buy
You
Joe
don't need
a
a
cup of
college
coffee.
degree for them.
Great guy,
And
spends
there's
all of his time to bring
About
content to you.
$40
Buy me a
billion
coffee.
already being invested in
Joe
being
underscore
built right now
Lanu.
in the
Buy
United
this man
States,
a coffee.
creating
When you get in there, you
significant
think about how
jobs
many
for
coffees?
Americans
Just
all
5
over
days
the-
this
from
week.
all
Buy him
over the
5
world.
coffees. Come on, guys.
President Biden, you have 40
If anybody's
seconds left.
earned it,
Would
Joe
you like to
has.
add anything?
Yeah, I would. The idea that somehow
I think we got 8
are,
minutes left on the
this
debate.
failing country. Never heard a
It's going
president
to be the
talk like this
closer.
before.
Yeah, 2,200
We-
people, man. Thank you
we
so
live in
much
a
for
world.
watching,
Name me
and
a
please like
single
and share. Let's
major
go.
country president who wouldn't trade places with the United States of America for all our problems and all our opportunities.
Hell yeah, we
We're
got
the most
plumbing.
progressive country in the world in getting things done. We're the strongest country in the world. We're a country in the world who keeps our word, and everybody trusts us. All of our allies.
You've been saying that all night, Uncle Buck.
And those who he cuddles up to, from Kim Jong Un, he sends love letters to. and
Kim
Putin
Jong
himself.
Un, love
They
letter.
don't want to screw around with us.
Thank you.
Kim Jong-un.
Former President Trump, to follow up, you would be 82 at the end
Coming
of
some
your
young guy.
second term.
You're buying love
What
letters.
do you say to voters who
Joe-
have concerns about your
Joe Biden
capabilities
likes his hair.
as
That's why.
Well, I took 2 tests, cognitive tests.
I'd like you to know that Andrew
As you
Yang,
know,
the Democrat
we made it
rep,
public. He
has
took one. I'd like
posted
to see him take one. Just one.
DNC needs to
really
nominate
easy.
somebody new
I
before
took
it's
through
too
the
late.
first 5 questions he couldn't do.
Ooh.
But I took 2 cognitive tests.
I do
took
think that this
physical
debate is
exams every
turning
year. And,
throwing
Yeah,
him under the
Biden
bus.
needs some
It may
Flowberry
be
Riz.
that I'm in very good health. I just won 2 club championships, not even senior, 2 regular club championships. To do that, you have to be quite
Biden
smart.
shit himself.
And you have to be able to hit the ball a long way.
It's night and
And I
day
do it.
between
He
Trump
doesn't
and
do it. He
Biden.
can't hit a
Night
ball
and day.
50 yards. He challenged me to a golf match. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. I think I'm in very good shape. I feel that I'm as
can't even
in
bait
good
a hook.
shape
Come
as
on,
I
girls.
was
He should have pulled out a
25,
golf
30
club.
years ago. Actually, I'm probably a little bit lighter, but I'm in as
I
good a shape
understand
as
where
I
golf was
was
invented, man.
years ago.
Yeah,
I
and my
feel very good.
penis
I
is
feel the
way
same.
bigger
But
than his.
I was willing
Come on,
to take
girls.
a cognitive test. And you know what? If I didn't do well, I aced him. Dr. Ronnie Jackson, who's a great guy when he was White House doctor. And then I took another one, a similar one. And one of them said they've never seen anybody ace him.
Thank you. President Biden.
You can see he is 6'5" and only 223 pounds, or 235 pounds.
What the hell does that have to do?
What? He's
Well, he said
razzing
6'4",
up
200.
Trump.
Well, anyway, that's it. Anyway, just take a look at what he said.
fuck was he
Take a look at
I
what
would
he
have
is.
kissed him
But
if I
I'd be
wasn't
happy
in
to have a
Jay.
driving contest with him. I got my handicap, which when I was vice president.
He's
I was
handicapped, that's
6.
for sure.
And by the way, I told him before, I'm happy to play golf. You can carry your own bag.
Oh, he wants to say something so
I
bad.
want him to fight.
Oh, he's stewing.
He's a 6 handicap of all.
I was at 8 handicap.
8 handicap. My ass.
But I had, you know how many?
I've seen you
No, he
swing. I
had
know you
8
swing.
handicap
Okay,
plaques
let's-
in
let's
his
not
car.
act
President
Joe
Trump, we're
Biden's
going
not
to
shooting
Let's
on
not act
64.
like children.
to
Let's
a
not act like
specific
children.
concern that voters have about you. Will you pledge tonight that
Oh my.
once all legal challenges have been exhausted, that you will accept the results of this election,
Hell
regardless of
no.
who wins?
What?
And you will say right now that political violence in any form is unacceptable.
Well, I shouldn't have to say that, but of course I believe that. It's totally unacceptable. And if
Your
you would see my
ex-husband was
statements
part of
that
the
I made on
51
Twitter at the
people
time,
that lied
and also my statement
about
that I
the
made in the
lab
Rose Garden,
trial.
you would say it's one of the strongest statements you've ever seen. In addition to the speech I made in front of, I believe, the largest crowd I've ever spoken to. And I will tell you, nobody ever talks about that. They talk about a relatively small number of people that went to the Capitol and in many cases were ushered in by the police. And as Nancy
And
Pelosi
the
said,
feds.
it was her responsibility,
Bam, back
not
on
mine. She said
J6.
that loud and clear.
Entrapment.
But the answer is, if the election is fair, free, and I want that more than anybody. And I'll tell you something. I wish he was a great president because I wouldn't be here right now. I'd be at one of
True
my
story.
many places enjoying myself. I wouldn't be under indictment because I wouldn't have been his political opponent because he indicted me because I was his opponent. I wish he was a great president. I would rather have that. I wouldn't be here. I don't mind being here. But the only reason I'm here is he's so bad as a president that I'm going to make America great again. We're going to make
Hell yeah.
America
Hell
great
yeah.
again. We're a failing nation right
Someone
now.
gotta
We're
do
a
something
seriously
about it.
failing nation. And we're a failing nation because of him. His policies are so bad. His military policies are insane. They're insane. These are wars that will never end with him. He will drive us into World War III, and we're closer to World War III than anybody can imagine. We are very, very close to World War III, and he's driving us there. And Kim Jong-un and President Xi of China, Kim Jong-un of North Korea, all of these, Putin, they don't respect him. They don't fear him. They have nothing going with this gentleman, and he's going to drive us into World War III.
Hell yeah.
You want a World War III, let him follow and win and let Putin say, do what you want, NATO. Just do what you want. There's a thing called Article 5.
He's
Attack
235,
on one is attack
6'5".
on all. Required
Anyway.
response. The idea,
You know the thing.
I can't think of a single major leader in the world who wouldn't trade places with the job I've done, what they've done. Because we are a powerful nation. We have wonderful people. It's because of the people, not me. It's because of the American
He
people.
needs a bowl of
They're
jello.
capable of anything. They
Way to
step up
admit
and
he's
they use it.
useless.
And right now, we're needed. We're needed to protect the world because of our
Whoever
safety is at stake.
prepared him for this
And
debate
again,
should be
you
fucking
wanna have a
fired, dude.
war, just let Putin
No,
go
he
ahead
ain't
and
fired
take
nobody.
Kyiv, make sure they move on, see what happens in Poland, Hungary, and other places along that
It's a
border.
DHI hire
Then you have a
anyways.
war.
President Trump, as I come back to you for a follow-up, the question was, will you accept the results of this election, regardless of who wins?
Just to finish what he said, if I might, Russia, they took a lot of land from Bush. They took a lot of land from Obama and Biden. They took no land, nothing from Trump, nothing. He knew not to do it. Not going to play games with me. He knew that. I got
Not
along
wrong.
with him very well, but he knew not to play games. He took nothing from me. But now he's going to take the whole thing from this man right here. That's a war that should have never started. It would have never started ever with me. And he's going to take Ukraine. And, you know, you asked me a question before, would you do this? He's got us in such a bad position right now with Ukraine and Russia because Ukraine's not winning that war. He said, I will never settle until such time. They're running out of people. They're running out of soldiers. They've lost so many people. It's so sad.
Millions.
They've lost so many people, and they've lost those gorgeous
If you work for
cities with the
CNN, how
golden
do you
domes
patch
that are
this shit up
1,000
this
years
week,
old,
dude? It's
all
terrible.
because of him and stupid
They will
decisions.
definitely have
Russia
their
would have
hands
never
full.
attacked if I were
President Trump,
president.
the question was, will you accept the results of the election,
Who said that?
regardless of who wins? Yes or no, please.
If it's a fair and legal and good election, absolutely. I would have much rather accepted these, but the fraud and everything else was ridiculous. And if you want, we'll have a news conference on it in a week, or we'll have another one of these in a week. But I will.
Biden can't do another one of these in a
absolutely
week.
Hell no,
rather
dude.
do.
No,
It would
he's
be
done.
much easier for me to do that than I'm running again. I wasn't really going to run until I saw the horrible job he did. He's destroying our country. I would be very happy to be someplace else in a nice location someplace. And again, no indictments, no political opponent stuff, because it's the only way he thinks he can win. But unfortunately, it's driven up my numbers and driven them up to a very high level because the people understand
That's
it.
a fact.
Yeah, yeah,
When this election is over, let's see.
this election's
whiner.
over.
When you lost the first time, you continued, you appealed and appealed to courts all across the country. Not one single court in America
Oh, this
said
is supposed to
any
be a
influence
talking
had
point. He
any
just talked
merit,
right past it.
state or local. None.
Yeah,
You
they didn't want their
continue to
houses
promote
burned down
this
and
lie
looters and
about somehow there's
picketers
all this
outside.
misrepresentation, all this stealing. There is no evidence of that at all.
Stop the steal,
And I
baby.
tell you what, I doubt whether you'll accept it because you're such a whiner. The idea, if you lose again, you
He's
accept
trying
it
to get
anyway.
Trump
You
all
can't stand the
pissed
loss.
off.
Something snapped in you when you lost the last time.
We'll be right
This
back
is a debate
with
bullshit.
more from the CNN presidential debate live from Georgia.
Cooked.
So Nicholas Kristof has posted, I wish Biden would reflect on debate performance and then announce that his decision to withdraw from the race, throwing the choice of the Democratic nominee to the convention, someone like Gretchen Whitmer, Sheridan Brown, or Secretary Armando. So there's some names that the DNC is already starting to toss out. So I think the comments that were made earlier in the night that this might be a slaughter job to get him out might be true.
100%. The Democrats only got one home run hitter. One home run hitter. I guess it's Gavin Newsom, right? Gavin Newsom, and then he needs a big VIP, maybe Hillary. You know what
No,
I'm saying?
they're-
But you want to be
their personalities
president with
are
Hillary
blessed.
Clinton being vice president? You know, you're a gunshot away. You know what I'm saying? The Clintons got a record for that. So it's
I think
very
it'll be-
interesting.
I think it'll be Gavin.
It's got to be Gavin, right?
not
That's the only
range-minded.
home run hitter. He's pretty. He's
He's
got
on the
good
way
hair.
to a gun show, bro.
No, he's there.
You're there
I'm
right
weird.
now?
I am. Well, I'm not in.
Looks like you're in the
Brown House.
hotel room doing some late night action.
How did you like the
What gun
five-star
show we talking
hotel?
about here?
Oh, the first hotel?
Yeah, the 5-star hotel.
Oh, bro. Like I didn't know if I was gonna get shot or raped or something, man. Like
Oh my, where are you at? I don't want
That's
to go.
my
there.
kind of place.
it was where was that?
Chuck E. Cheese,
We were in Casper, Wyoming.
the White Ghost. Oh my,
That is
stay
as
away.
Trump would say, that's a shithole town. It's tragic. What the left has done to Casper, Wyoming is tragic. It's a shithole. It really is.
Your facial expression, I laughed.
It's a
my
nice
ass
hotel
off.
room. You're in a hotel room, right?
Now this is a sweet hotel room. I'm in Grinnell,
That's
Iowa.
sweet.
right
Oh
next to
my,
Brown
that's
Hill.
nice.
It
That's
looks like a
nice.
Holiday Inn.
Yeah, this is. I mean,
You're gonna get much smarter on the way out.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but they said they'll leave the light on, right?
dude, I am not
Motel
kidding
6,
you. Like,
baby.
I know.
That's no
Red
lobby.
roof inn.
that hotel, like it is like something you'd see in a movie. You pull up and there's like homeless people hanging out on the porch, dealers out front doing deals. Like, bro,
That's a
Yeah.
good time.
I
Why
mean,
you
like
gotta-
as soon as I walked in the lobby, I'm like,
American
I
I said I got
immediately
7
regret-
grams and a 9mm, baby.
I know.
I gotta ask, who laid down in the bed?
Nobody. Luckily, I had my Whoopie with me. I laid it on top of the bed. I kept my shoes on because I was not walking around on the carpet.
Hey, we don't need to be hearing about your Woody.
Yeah, no, yeah, he had his little Woody with him. Just leave it to yourself.
Kept me from rolling over.
Hey, when you went to
But,
the front desk, did they say, "Look, we rent the hotels by the hour. How many hours do you want?"
Dude,
12
it was awful.
I'll
It
take
was
8.
awful.
We love you long time.
There was no happy endings in that place.
So, do you think
Sounds
that
that
he's
way.
getting an injection right now, or do you think he's drinking something right now?
Oh, it's over. It's definitely 100% over. I don't understand why they even allowed him not to be drugged up in this whole situation. His
What?
facial expressions.
Dude,
I-
I thought he was
Matt,
hopped up.
we graded the last break. What are we going to grade this one? Trump with the A+, and what do we got Biden now at? I got
Man, no, he is drugged up. That's the problem.
He's drugged up.
You
Oh,
think
my.
so?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, dude, he's rizzed. Like, there's no way he's not.
he's
drugged.
not blinking. There's no facial expressions. Dude, I'll bet you there's at points where he can taste colors. He's so hopped
Yeah.
up right now.
Can't you tell by the blank stares when he looks at Trump's like?
He's
It's now
done.
time
Oh,
for the
here we
candidates
go.
to deliver their
Round
closing
3.
statements as predetermined
Closing
by a
statements.
Hey,
He's got
joint
so
I'm
much
having a
stuff
great
in his
time,
hand.
everybody. I'm having a great time.
Biden, you have 2
He's got so
2,300
much-
people. Thank you so much. Let's go.
He's
It's
got
2
so much
minutes
in him right now. He's
closing
going to
statement.
shat
Significant
himself.
Progress from the debacle that was left by President Trump in his last term. We found ourselves in a
He's getting worse.
situation where, number
Debacle
one,
last term.
we have to make sure that we have a fair tax
These are
system.
closing arguments.
I ask
This is
anyone
it.
out there in the audience.
It's
if
like
you're
Karen
gonna
Reed all
watch
over
this
again.
Debate. Do you think the tax system is fair? The fact is that I said
Where's Alan Jackson? We
nobody
need Alan
making
Jackson.
$400,000 had a single penny increase in their
Cut 'em off.
taxes,
Cut 'em
and
off.
they're not- And if I'm reelected,
You're going to have to
I'm gonna
speak
take
up
some
or
down.
turning off the air
But
conditioning.
This guy has increased your taxes because of the deficit.
He's going to
Number
increase
one,
your
he's
taxes
increased
because he
inflation
lowered them
because of
last
the
time.
debacle he left after
We'll yell at the
handled
screen for you,
pandemic.
Fidgy.
And he finds himself in a position where he now wants to tax you more by putting a 10% tariff on everything that comes into the United States of America.
Tariff is not a tax on
Idea.
Americans,
And for
homie.
example, he wants to get away with get rid of the
It
ability
is
of
when you think
Medicare
that Mexico and
to,
China
the-
is the
for
American.
the ability
Yeah, and I heard
for
China
the
now is setting up
us to be able to negotiate
car
drug
shops,
prices with
electric
big
shops
pharma
in
companies.
Mexico to get away
Well,
from the
guess what?
tariffs in China.
We got it. we
Yeah,
got it
Trump said
down
he's gonna
to
tax their ass
15
anyway. He knows what's up.
$35 for
True
insulin,
story.
$400, no more than $2,000 for every senior, no matter how much prescription they need.
What?
You know what that did?
Prescriptions?
That reduced the federal
Greg
debt
Gutfield says,
by
Jesus, stop this.
$160 billion over 10 years.
They should
because
have
the
gave
government doesn't have to
Biden
pay
some
the
Adderall.
exorbitant
I don't know
prices.
what they were
We're
doing.
going to make that available to every
I've
I
never
had
seen a
every
horse
man.
get beat so bad in my
as
life.
long as it's happening now, and everybody in America. He wants to get rid of that. I'm going to make sure that we have child care. We're going to
And to think that this guy is running our country, that's the part that's scary.
Make sure we do something about
No,
what
that's
we're
the
doing on
CIA, I believe.
lead pipes and all the things
Shadow
that are
government's taking care of
causing
it.
health problems for people across the country. We're going to continue to fight to bring down.
I guess
inflation
AI is running
and
everything.
Give people a break.
Jack-
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump, you now have
Jack
2 minutes for
Sobek
your
just said,
closing
did
statement.
Biden bring up the migrant rapes
Like
that
so
happened
many
under his own
politicians,
watch?
this man is just a complainer. He said,
Yep.
we want to do this, we want to do that, we want to get rid of this tax, that tax. But he doesn't do anything. He doesn't do, all he does is make our country unsafe by allowing millions and millions of people to pour in. Our military doesn't respect him. We look
They
like
weren't ready for
fools
all
in
this immigration
Afghanistan.
talk.
We didn't stop
There's a
Israel.
random
It was
person
such
on
a
X that
horrible
just said
thing
that my
would have
root
never
canal
happened.
today
It
was
should
less
have never
painful than this
happened.
debate.
Iran was broke. Anybody that did business with
Or
Iran,
Joe
including
Lanu's heart
China,
surgery.
they couldn't do business with the United States. They all passed.
Pretty much.
Iran was broke. They had no money for Hamas or Hezbollah, for terror, no money whatsoever. Again, Ukraine should have never happened. He talks about all this stuff, but he didn't do it. For 3.5 years, we're living in hell. We have the Palestinians and we have everybody else rioting all over the place. You talk about Charlottesville. This is 100 times Charlottesville, 1,000 times. The whole country is exploding because of you,
Wrigley.
because they don't respect you, and they have to respect their president.
Somebody
and they don't
just
respect
posted, you
throughout
better
the
vote
world.
for me or you're not retarded.
What we did was incredible. We rebuilt the military. We got the largest tax cut in history, the largest regulation cut in history. The reason he's got jobs is because I cut the regulations that gave jobs, but he's putting a lot of those regulations back on. All of the things that we've done, nobody's never seen anything like, even from a medical standpoint, right to try, where we can try space age materials instead of going to Asia or going to Europe and trying to get when you're terminally ill. Now you can go and you can get something. You sign a document. They've been trying to get it for 42 years. But you know what we did for the military was incredible choice for our soldiers, where our soldiers, instead of waiting for 3 months to see a doctor, can go out and get themselves fixed up and readied up and take care of themselves, and they're living. And that's why I had the highest approval rating in the history of the VA. So all of these things, we're in a failing nation, but it's not going to be failing anymore. We're going to make it great again.
Thank you, former
And he has
President
not
Trump,
said fake
President
news yet.
Biden. Stay with us because we have full analysis of this debate.
It's
Anderson
over,
Cooper and
baby. It's
Aaron Burnett
over.
starting
Lights
now
out.
on
Game
camera.
over. Joe Biden was murdered. Someone call 911.
Somebody get Alan Jackson up here.
Any handshakes?
0.
That's it. And that's it. And that's it, dude. It was just like that. It was over. It was it.
Dust in the wind.
It just went black.
Was that it?
Fade
That's it.
Yeah, what about the commentary? What are they going to say? Joe Biden killed it. He called Trump suckers and losers. My son is not a sucker and a loser.
Wonder what
that's
Gary
just
Sessions is gonna
stand
say
by the
about it.
fire pit, bro, with the smoke in his face. You know what I'm saying? Get Upland. What are we gonna do, baby? What are we gonna do?
All right. So what do you
I'm
think?
Biden.
I want to hear about
Biden.
this hotel where these hookers are going out of.
Right?
Okay, so you need to go back and watch his video.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which one? What is it? Which
I
one is it?
laughed my ass off.
I'm not gonna